I just finished another book, Napoleon Dynamite, Napoleon Hill.
Okay, people,
My bad.
we are ready to start. So we're leaving. Thank you for joining my behind the scenes. We are going live in like 20 seconds. See you in the morning, Mary.
Countdown.
Somebody DoorDash me some chicken. 3 wings dipped in honey barbecue sauce.
To the iPhone surgeon, 150. What's the address?
Look, unless you're gonna do
Bye,
it.
y'all.
Oh, wait.
Intro? Dion. What you mean where the intro at? Dion? Where you put it? Dion, where the intro? How did you even play it last time?
Send it in your email. It's in your email.
Dion, man, you sound like you would rip a brother up in jokes. Like, mess up if you want to. Hey, y'all, hey. Get him. Get him. Okay, ready?
Si, senor.
I got my AirPods.
Si, senor.
What you want me to call you?
Roderick.
Um,
See, I was trying to be prepared just in case y'all was like, pull your mask up. I was like,
Roderick, any other from Rod Speaks? You want me to say that too?
Yeah, that's cool.
I'll let you do your own. How to find you later. Okay.
Y'all ready to ride? Y'all ready to ride?
Ever wonder what therapists talk about after work? Well, the answer might surprise you. We talk about the same things you guys talk about, from WAP to woke, from love to friendships. Welcome to The Tea. I'm your host, Dr. Chris Snyder, and here with me is my co-host and colleague, Kenise Eaton. We are the therapists at Minds Empowered Counseling in Chicago, but once a week we kick back and we vent, and we want you guys to join us. So go grab a glass of your favorite drink, make sure it's a little strong, and come and rock with us for the next hour.
Y'all ready to ride? Y'all ready to ride?
Hi guys, welcome to the show. As you will see, we have an extra special guest with us today. We have Roderick here from Rod Speaks.
Yes, ma'am.
So today we are talking about Black men and protecting Black women. So a few things have been happening that I know I've noticed lately. We can talk about Vice President Kamala Harris and the clear insults that was kind of thrown her way as she became the vice presidential candidate, from her not being Black to
Joe in the hole.
Yeah, it's been coming to, let's add Cardi and Megan's song, and more insults related to Black women being good enough, and or Megan when she got shot by Tory Lane, because last time I heard he did admit it finally because he was drunk. Those were the texts that came out on Twitter.
Mm.
That's what my daughter told me.
Okay.
So we have, but clearly everyone wanted to blame her. Like, I watched men attack Megan over being shot by a man. We can keep going. Serena Williams, y'all know my bae, my heart, the GOAT, who I will be on playing in probably like 35 minutes. But anyway, the number of insults thrown her way about whether her size, being married to a white man. Somebody directly on one of my posts recently said, I can't support her because she married a white guy. Okay, fine, whatever. But really wanted to, and we can keep going. Like the it's endless. We're not even gonna go into rape culture and the way women need to be accountable for their actions and how they, need to pay more attention because it's I've been hearing lately it's our fault for that too. So really wanted to come on here because I am more and more I personally say I'm beginning to feel I'm not protected by black men. I'm hearing women say they're not protected a lot by black men. And so we brought a black man on to help us talk about it and kind of give some perspective. Roderick, do you want to add something?
So I think that whatever the topic is when it comes to perception or protection of the African American woman, it goes to the individual man himself, because a lot of men will say, oh, well, me, I do this. But if you're talking about the entirety of all African American males, you have some men that feel inferior, for lack of better words, if a woman is making more money than him. So in order to bring her down, he's gonna, say whatever to, cause her to have distrust or, self-regret or something like that. And I mean, I've talked to a lot of women where I'm like, you fine. Like, what are you talking about? This guy said X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. And it's not a knock at men, but that there are individual men that cannot accept someone being either better than them or a higher position or in something like that. So the way they do that is to bring them down. Now, as far as protection, I want to say that the topic of this conversation is not just going to be physical protection. Yes. Men will fight, to protect their woman or a woman, but in the same regard, you want to ensure that the person that you are protecting is in a psychological protection, is in a physical protection as far as like the vicinity that they live in or that they their work capacity, because a woman shouldn't have to come to work and feel berated or feel as though she's just a piece of meat by everybody. You're gonna always have some guys, and then a man should be able to step in and say, hey bro, it's enough, what I'm saying, calm down or whatever. Or a man should be able to tell the group, hey, she's not even like that, so you got to step up and be a man.
I
however
don't see
you
that a lot, but Kenise,
right.
Go ahead. I'm gonna let you take it for a second.
I kind of feel like it's an entitlement deal.
Mm-hmm.
The black man feels entitled to the black woman, and when she doesn't allow him to have his way, so to speak, then that's where we lose the sense of protection.
I think again that would be the caliber of the man that you would be talking about, because I know a lot of men that only date black women, and they're there to protect only black women. I know a lot of men that do not, and black men that do not date black women. But I think that again, that's just the realm of the men that you circulate in. There was a guy that made a post that there's a stat that says only 7% of African American men make over $100,000,
and that's actually true. And it's not just men, it's black people.
Oh, but it was crazy because literally everybody posting is like, well, I must be part of the 7%. I know people making 100. I know people making 300. And one of the analogies I always say is, if you only carry a hammer, the only thing you see is nails. So if I'm looking at men that are not fulfilling their, position as a man to protect a woman, then I see that. But if I'm a man and I'm saying, well, I'm doing everything that we should be doing, and I know this guy, I know that guy, I know this organization, then it's counterproductive, because I see what I see and you see what you see. But we as men and as women in general have to be able to see from the other person's position.
And I want to ask you this question: why is it that when we talk about the protection of black women, men bring up money?
I think it's mainly because when you're little, or when you're a young male or something, a little kid, you think or you're being told in order to have everything, you should be a football player, a basketball player. You can, make all the money, and then and then men talk. It's like, oh man, you got all the money, you can get whatever you want, you get all the women. Da, da, da. So men equate success with finance or objects, or I have a big house, I drive a nice car. Well, it takes money to have those things. And then you think about the difference between women and girls. You have girls that they see that and they want it, but then you have women that are willing to follow you if you are just standing on the side of the road with dreams, and shit, I can't even think of it, but you're standing on the side of the road, and you want to be successful. Somebody told me a long time ago, attitude, not aptitude, will determine your altitude. So if I have a positive attitude and I want to be successful, and you as African American woman, you see that in me, then you're going to mold it, and you're going to nurture it, and you're going to feed it to ensure that I reach it. Right. But a man doesn't. Not all men will see that in a woman, and they like, oh, I see the the physical attributes, and it's like, oh, I got to get her. So depending on how the man is raised, it's a difference. Like I grew up in Kentucky, so it's all yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir, let me get the door for you. And so many times here, people are like, I knew you wasn't from Chicago. I'm like, how can you tell? Oh, I hear it. You wouldn't have known if I didn't say anything. But just seeing how people are in different parts of the country is just normal, for you to say, I'm going to do everything to protect the person I'm with, or I'm going to, act accordingly, when in an environment of women, as opposed to just, constantly trying to look at everybody as though it's a task to be conquered. But you have some men that's it. I just want to conquer her. I want her. I mean, you think about it. Halle Berry was cheated on.
Well, yeah, but what does that have to do with how much money you make and how successful you are?
What? Halle Berry?
Being able to protect me.
Well, I think that if a man believes that he's inferior, whether he can make the money equivalent or anything like that, then he's not even going to approach you to even say that you're in the same ballpark.
So then what you're saying is that his money is his
some
strength?
men's money. Yeah.
Some men's money is their strength.
Yeah.
So if
go ahead.
Yeah, eat me up. I mean, I see it's in you. Come with it. We got to get this out. This is the podcast.
So if you don't have any money,
some men don't have any money.
Okay, so if some men don't have any money, then that means that they're weak.
Yeah, and they know it. And then they don't
then that gives you permission to not protect me?
Well, to not even approach you. So I'm thinking that if a man sees you and he's working at McDonald's, right?
Okay.
Unless he has a certain, je ne sais quoi about himself, he's not even going to talk to you. So, and that's in regards to approaching you as a mate. Now, if you have a man that's a lawyer, a doctor, or, someone making a lot of money, he's going to approach you and he's, hey, let me talk to you, let me do this. Now that you all have kindled some type of relationship, it's his duty moving forward to protect you. So I think that some men that, feel like, oh, well, she's out of my league, I ain't even going to talk to her. Now, as the physical protection, if he sees someone doing something to you, he's going to protect you.
So let's take the opposite end of that then, because I don't know how many times I'm either getting out my car or walking somewhere.
Hey, shawty.
And if I don't, and I mean hyper aware to not say the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Because it's like, how do I ignore you and not like make you feel like I didn't cut your balls off?
Right.
Because I didn't tend to your advance without you then possibly wanting to aggress against me. Right. Like legitimately, women are being shot and hurt because they are turning down advances. And I'll give I used to have this guy come to me to clean my truck. And so one day I was on the phone with somebody and the guy was easily flirting. I mean, actively. Okay, cool. All right, thanks. I'm cool. I'm not even going to shut you down because in my mind, what I'm thinking is, though everyone know I'll shoot you, like legitimately, I have enough guns around me at any moment. I legitimately blow your head off.
That's not a threat that she's just talking.
No, I'll
no, it's facts.
No, I'll shoot. It's a reason I got
it's facts.
all the ARs and shotguns and things I had. I'm like, I'll fire off. But it still is a moment in my brain that lets me know I have to get to my gun. It's enough time to me to know you're stronger than me. Mm-hmm. And in that moment I can lose. Mm-hmm. I will lose. Not I can, I will. And I say it often, like, you might physically assault me. The moment I get loose, either you kill me or that's probably your only option. Because I get loose. You'll get the upper hand if you touch me in the beginning. Don't let me get loose. Like, at that point, it's over. But I shouldn't feel that way.
Right.
I should not constantly think I cannot speak up for myself. And the guy was on the phone, was like, why you didn't check him? Hell no, I ain't checking him.
And that
what I
goes
look like
to
doing that?
That's that entitlement.
Yeah,
so
I ain't saying nothing.
You have to speak to me because I'm interested in you. I want your phone number. You need to give it to me. And if you don't give it to me, you're going to be a bald head bitch by the time, and a whole bunch of other
and 22
nice
seconds.
expletives.
In 22 whole seconds.
And sometimes we're put into positions where it's like, well, let me go ahead. I've even created a fake number. So like my phone number, the last four, these aren't the last four, but we're going to say they are 1223. I tell people that it's 1233. Mm-hmm. So that when they go to put it in their phone, and then they call, because now they gotten so advanced that they call you. They call you right there, right? They call you in the moment. And then, oh, you gave me the wrong number. Oh, let me see. Oh, that's, you doubled the threes. It's only 1 3 and it's 2 2. So that's my excuse now. Mm-hmm. But it shouldn't have to come to that. I should just be able to say, thank you, sweetie, but I'm not interested. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm being polite.
For sure.
So I should be able to be polite and still be able to decline your advance and not have to worry about being a bitch that day. And sometimes I just give my phone number because I don't feel like being a bitch today. Mm-hmm. Like, it should not have to come to that. But there's this entitlement piece where it's like we now have to be threatened with either some sort of verbal abuse, some sort of physical harm if we don't respond in the way that some men think that we should.
Yeah, we shouldn't be there. And I would think black men, as a black woman, would run to my rescue or not put me in a position to where I got where I have multiple guns at all times around me. Like, I should not be in a position and ready. Like,
So first, I don't know any guys like that. Like, I mean, if I think the most disrespectful thing I know, of my friends and guys that I relate to, is something that happened in college. And, one of my friends was, talking crazy to the girl that was driving him and told him to get out. I mean, he told her to get out of his car. But, I mean, as a man, that was in college. We like 19. As a man, no man should do that. Like, I know that some men do that. But, again, that's the caliber of the man and what are they brought up thinking. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, honestly, the men that I know and associate with.
But all y'all say that. I don't know how many men, like, these ain't the men I know.
Mm-hmm. Because we them men. We men.
So then that takes us, let's go there. I don't remember when, but at some point before the pandemic, there was a lot of conversations around rape and rape culture and things happening. I feel like something happened with somebody. I don't recall. But it was a lot of, like, things around. And women kept saying, well, why don't men talk to other men? When I mean, like, y'all keep checking us. Y'all keep telling us what we doing wrong. Questioning why
you shouldn't have been in that situation. You shouldn't have had that on. You shouldn't
have
went there with this.
All of it. Like, it was so much conversation by men. And I get the pieces that belong. Like, I do know not to walk in alleys and only go, like, it's a whole bunch of things I know. But still, men was on us. Right, but men was not checking other men, and I couldn't understand it. Women kept saying, why aren't y'all speaking up on your own? Forget if a rape happened or not. How come y'all ain't making posts or holding meetings or anything talking about how do I hold other men accountable, or men, how do we make sure you being a good nigga? Like, when does these conversations happen? Because it's with women are screaming. I'm reading it. I'm seeing it. We ain't okay.
Right.
And y'all steadily going, but it ain't the men I know, or it's your fault.
Yeah.
Something is disconnected here, and we telling y'all it's a disconnect.
So again, I mean, I don't want to seem like I'm backpedaling out of this, I just want to be clear to all the viewers, all the men that I know as well as myself are not those type of guys. But in the same regard, I do not believe that a man should be making those negative advancements. I think that as a man, I should be able to say, you're not interested in me. Okay, cool. I can move on to the next person. It's like 13, 14 women to every one man. So you can shoot me down 12 to 13 times and I can move to the next person. And then you think about some of the men that just aren't even interested in their set of 12 to 13. Now you're looking at 26, so it's like, why are men, and because to your point, I don't know why men don't bring it up as a topic. I know that I have daughters. That's something I know I'm gonna have to address. I think about, the way that they fight and everything else. I don't, my daughters aren't fighting, but I just know that how young girls fight and they want to try to cause a scar or something like that. Yeah. So I think about things like that. And then I think about, okay, well, as they grow up, what is it that they need to be doing and carrying themselves? But I didn't think about with young men, hey, don't rape a girl. It's like, that's the same thing as you have to breathe. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a topic that you think about when you're not in that, the aspect. So I think that there are topics that we as men need to be made aware of. Like you said, y'all are screaming about it. But if I don't rotate in those, realms where a male needs to be talked to and say, hey, man, you're not supposed to rape somebody. You're not supposed to punch a girl. You're not supposed, like, those, that's like the very, like, okay, hey, I want to get in the car and drive. Well, you got to open the door first, right? Like, those should be rules and things that are in place that's the primary to even existence. When I was young, I was raised up, you don't hit a girl. And we had girls, I'm not going to say no names, what I'm saying, but they could whoop all the dudes, call out. Because she ain't coming and whooping me as an adult, But I'm just saying, even with certain people, certain females that can fight, you just, create distance, and just move away from that situation. But I think to a bigger point, talking about the youth and moving forward, how can we, negate this issue or a lot of the issues, especially with us as African Americans, how can we talk to younger people and for the sake of the topic, younger African American males in order to let them know that there needs to be a way that they can let their stress out, their anger, and their frustrations. A lot of people want to say, oh, well, he did this and he did that because he was mad. And you want to justify it and say that it's okay. But then if no one checks that, then that, allows them to do X, Y, and Z. So if I'm living in a household where I see my dad beating on my mom and nobody says, hey, son, your dad is wrong for beating on his mom. Now, am I allowed to grow up and think that, it's okay? And then at what point do I, get checked by someone? And then am I willing to receive it? So if I'm 13 and I've seen a father beating on my mom, for 13 years, and I have my teacher come in and say that's wrong, do I receive that message from the teacher, or I'll be like, bitch, you don't know nothing? You know what I'm saying? So now we have to figure out, how do we convey the message that needs to be conveyed in order to protect an entire culture, an entire race, because then it becomes even more when, the police are involved or a community are involved. And, I've been beating on you for so long. Now, do you get tired of it and you kill me? Does your family get tired of it and they kill me? Do the police come involved and now I'm not listening to them because I don't respect my parents and now they kill me? Do community organizations stomp me because, look, man, we done tried to get her out the house. We done got her jobs. We done did everything possible and you just not stopping. Now you have people that come up as a group and it's considered like the gang mentality. It's known that if you have an entire group of people and one person does something, everybody feels I can just drop back into the group and nobody's going to know it's me. So if all of us are stomping on them, well, let me get a stomp. So now if you have 12 or 13 family members stomping on somebody, at what point do they say enough's enough? Because you have some people that just continue to stomp and that even stomp this person to death. And it's all because no one checked them at a younger age and told them what common sense is to not hit women, not to disrespect women, to carry yourself in a manner to be respected. Because regardless if a woman is wearing, nothing, whether you want to pursue her or not, you still have to treat her as a woman. Whether you think, oh, well, it don't matter, she brought this upon herself. It doesn't matter. She's still a person and you got to be able to carry that same conversation.
Clearly want the conversation when Megan got shot. Yeah.
But that again is the people that she's surrounding herself with. I'm not around people that's gonna carry a gun and shoot some woman. I'm a millionaire. Why am I shooting somebody?
Right, and that's a man with a lot of money.
Yeah, but some people you can take. You can take the man, you can take the person out the hood. You can't take the hood out the person.
Mm-hmm.
But they still attacked her. Like she was.
I don't know the whole story, but I just knew it was crazy.
Every option though of the story was still her as the bad guy.
Yeah,
she was shot. I don't care how any story, how there's any scenario in this story where you justify her being shot.
Yeah, I agree.
But it was constantly.
And then if you think about it, I mean, even in the news prior to the pandemic, I would say we'll say summer last year until March of this year, it has been a large number of women being shot. Well, at least here in Chicago. I'm sure the viewers are from all over, but in Chicago, it's not a large number.
A male lady just got shot today.
Male lady, like delivering mail?
A male lady while she was delivering mail. I'm not sure of the specifics of it, but I saw a little snippet where she was shot today.
It's confusing at this point because I watch, and I'm going to say I'm biased, but I watch black women uplift black men in every possible area, like legitimately. Can me say that to a fault?
Yeah.
We are like there rooting them on. You got it, babe. You name it, like pick an area, an arena. Mm-hmm. There is not black woman. It said black man going. It's okay, and it is not in reverse.
To a fault. Oh yeah, you said to a fault.
To a fault, and it's not. It's not reversing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I even
in certain realms it's not reversing.
I even saw a post by a prominent black man in Chicago that has his own podcast. And he was upset that I believe it was CNN. Mm-hmm. CNN did an interview with all of the female black mayors around the country. Mm-hmm. And he was upset that there was not a black man at the table. It wasn't about them at that point.
I think in that situation, because of him having a podcast, I think he has to say something to get people to want to view his podcast.
Stop it.
Because there's no way that you could.
So we can again bring us down. So bring down women,
right?
For what? Like
so
again,
or to bring down that whole thing. Because
so bring down all these wonderful women that are we.
I'm not agreeing with it. I'm just saying.
I believe it's what 5 or 6 black female mayors.
I think it's 5, but
yeah. So all of them were on CNN together, and I forgot what the caption was. I forgot what the caption for CNN
I saw
was.
That at one time.
Mm-hmm.
And he was up, and he said there should have been a black man, and he even said that part of the reason why Lori is having a hard time running the city of Chicago is because she doesn't have a black man on her team. So why? And I hear that sometimes you need controversy in order for people to tune in to what it is that you're trying to do, but. Isn't it controversial to have 5 black women in those high-ranking positions?
For sure.
So why not uplift
and last time
those
I checked,
women?
it's 50 states. So
52.
52. Yeah, 52. Sorry. 52.
So why not uplift those 5 women?
Why 5? We still like the percent of nothing. Like the percent legitimately of nothing.
Yes.
A whole little less than 5%.
Because who do we have? We have Chicago has a black mayor. Atlanta has a black
Rochester,
mayor.
New York.
Washington, D.C. has a black mayor. New York has a black mayor.
Dallas?
And I'm not sure who
Seattle.
the other one. But listen to those cities. Listen to those cities. It's turning up everywhere in those cities.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere.
I say that all the time about Lori. Like, y'all just don't have no respect for her. Like, this is a rebellion against a black woman.
Exactly. So it's already turning up in her city. And then you want to try to minimize her credibility because she has a vagina?
But I think, too, I mean, I
even saw somebody said on a post that Lori, it's her fault they rioted. I'm like, she should have known that they would. The most recent one. The most recent one, like after dude in Kenosha.
Yeah, she was the one that posted meet at River Oaks at 3 p.m. Right. She set it up.
She was supposed to know that the gangs was going to come together and then decide. I'm like, are y'all serious? Mm-hmm. Like, I ain't never seen y'all come at Rom. I ain't seen y'all come at between Rom and Daly, 2 of the biggest gangsters. I ain't seen more. Well, boy, let me be quiet there.
Again, it just is the realm that you rotate in, because if you think about it, Jamal Green, I mean, he would show up to every event that Rom was at, and Rom got to the point that he would have to send security to keep him from coming. But you see Jamal, he's all over the country.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? I agree with you to the point that it's an anomaly at the amount of people that are out against her and other African American mayors. I think that people are using any realm that they can. COVID-19. They're using
the way that
the
governor
riots.
coming at
Using,
Keisha in Atlanta, I ain't never seen. Boy, he's so out of order.
and again, that goes to who has the most power. Is it the president of the United States? Is it the governor, or is it the mayor of the city? Because the governor controls the whole state, but then the mayor is only of your one particular city. Now, if your city is the largest city in that state, at what point do you have more power than a small town from wherever? So if the president is saying, you know what, open the whole country up, and then the governors are like, no, I'm in charge of my state. You can only tell me so much, but as the governor, I can do anything within the realms of the law that I want. So if I say my state's not opening, and then I think it was like 13 or 14 governors got together and made their own pact to say we're not going to open at this point. Now you look at like Atlanta. So they were spending, I think they said $12 million a month trying to ensure that people were staying at home and still getting paid because of the virus. Well, the state itself couldn't keep that amount of money just going to give it out. So the governor says, hey, we got to open up Atlanta. So then they say, we're going to open up the hair salons and nail salons because you're putting people back to work. But then if you saw the stipulations that they impacted on people or they impose on people, it's a matter of like, well, how am I even going to make any money? Because I mean, you all go to hair salons and it's like, I'm gonna have one person washing, one person drying. I'm fixing this person. Now I can rotate them. Next person coming in, you got somebody washing her hair. And they're like, you can only have one person in the store in the shop at a time. She has to wear a mask. You have to wear a mask. Then you have to get a new mask for each person. And this was in at the time when you couldn't even get masks. So how am I going to have my mask, a new mask each time? And then I got to give a new client a mask. So where's that going to fall back onto? You're going to have to pass the bill on to the client or the customer. And then you do that with people that are already cut from their jobs and they're not making enough money, but they want to come out and support you, or they want to come out and at least get, some type of beauty because they've been shut in the house for so long. So how do I, still keep my customer or my client without, breaking the rules, breaking the laws, and still keeping them, satisfied?
I don't think half of the issues Atlanta faced wouldn't have existed if the mayor wasn't black.
Or a woman.
I think that's a good point, but I also think that's just you all's point. I'm sorry. I'm like in the middle of the road. Like I look for the fact, and I just don't believe that it's like that. I mean, you think about all the issues that Atlanta has faced over the years, from people moving out to
pandemic only. I'm talking pandemic issues. I would directly speak there. The way he has come for that girl's head.
But I think too, it's a matter of when the governor says open up the state, and then they're like, no, we the heartbeat of Georgia. What Atlanta does, the rest of the country will follow.
Right. Now and excuse my ignorance, but how many black male mayors are there? Oh, and there's also a black female mayor in Eudora, Arkansas. Just have to put that
Eudora,
out there.
You had to Google that one. Okay.
All right.
Z5, see you with the brush. All right, let's see. Why would I know that there's more? I know that there's a lot of African American females, but we're saying mayors.
I'll take governor. Give me what you got. How many black males? Nope.
I can't even Google. Like I don't even have on a reception.
Put that down.
African American males. I know that there was one that ran in North Carolina and he lost.
Okay.
I don't know right off.
Exactly. So we're popping right now. Black women are popping right now. Even if we just go,
I was gonna say from the Senate
even
to
if we just
the
go
House
for Illinois, we have
seats?
a black mayor. The attorney general is black. The Cook County board president is black. The president of the Chicago school board is black, and it should be
a female.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, all of them are black females.
Well, the attorney general is Kwame Raoul.
No, who is Kim Fox?
She's the state's attorney.
Oh, excuse me. I stand corrected. But they're all in powerful positions, and they're all black women. We're popping right now.
Correct.
So how come it just can't be a rally to say,
yay,
go, bae, go?
Well, I think in that realm, I would say that it's systemic. If I've only been in a culture where we've disrespected women for 20, 30 years, now all of a sudden women are in such a powerful position. I mean, you think about it, when President Obama was president, there was an entire culture of people that just 20 or 30 years ago was calling black people niggas and monkeys and jigaboos, and now they trying to say that they
20-30 minutes ago.
Yeah, but it was the norm, So now you're asking them to
is the norm
for the country. So it was the norm for them to say that, and then you have so many people that have changed their mind frame, but you still have some that have not. So it's a matter of saying, right now with women, you have a large majority of men in influential positions that believe that women need to be, equal pay, CFOs, CEOs. Yeah. But you have a large number of people that still believe a woman's place is in the house and barefoot pregnant in the kitchen. So it's like, how do we get, the people that are in the middle that's like, that's where we're living at. We need to make sure that the people in the middle, because you have some people, no matter what, the woman is always right. Some people, women wrong.
So do you feel like black men are in competition with black women?
That was going to be my question. Is it a jealousy thing?
Is that what's happening?
I don't think so. I just think that it's not even a thing,
because women are making more money. I hear about money and women all the time, and somehow because we have money, men can't be men. Like I'm really trying to make it make sense, but it doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make sense to me.
It seems like it's a competition.
So right, because it kind of makes you want to question whether or not me being in a position of power and you being a subordinate makes you now feel inferior to me. Because your beginning points were about how his money makes him feel powerful. So now even let's bring this home. So
she's about to get me.
I make about $300K. You make $1K. Who's the head of household? Who's the provider?
So, well, it depends on the household, but
it's us.
I posted this on our Facebook page too.
Oh, so I was supposed to research that before?
No. Spot on, because I didn't see her post.
So the man is still the head of the household.
Okay. So then your money means nothing.
In my mind frame. You have some men that they don't believe that. They just, whoever makes the most money, and then some men won't even, you make $300K, it's hundreds of thousands of men that won't even approach you. They won't even talk to you.
But it's not tattooed on my forehead. Like my salary
just the way you carry yourself.
It's not there.
When you said that men are like, hey, shawty, hey, yo, hey, yo, ski.
So
their mind frame is not approachable for a woman.
Okay, so
people have allowed them to do that.
And because I want to bring it up because it was brought to me.
I was ready for that one.
It was brought to me. It's an idea that it is a competition only because women are invading the man's lane, and that I don't even think that. I think so many men are not even prepared for the lane, that the men that are in the lane are welcoming, and the men that are not are like, fuck that, get out of my way, you taking my spot. Or maybe the men aren't prepared in the way
they're in. And I think that it goes back to youth, because just here in Chicago, you have so many young people that believe being in a gang is cool, dropping out of school, not being in school is cool. So now if I'm, 15, 20 years later, I'm now 20, 30 years old, I have not even prepared myself to be in a position to get a good occupation. Whereas young women, even though they may have, I'm dating the thug, I'm dating the neighborhood, whatever, they still have certain mind frame to say, I have to be successful. So now at 30, 40 years old, you've been in a workforce, or you've been in an academic kind of setting to be able to be prepared. And now, somebody else, he's just, oh man, ain't nobody hiring me. Well, you're a felon. You don't have no education. You don't know how to calm down. You don't know how to, have longevity for a job.
Excuses.
But it's the truth.
They're tools of being competent.
Used to build monuments of nothingness, and those that
use them will amount to nothing.
Yes.
So, I hear you.
I love it, y'all. Look, we at home right here.
I hear you and all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, like.
But see, you gotta be able to see from other points of view, because if you all are in a realm that you are accustomed to, like you said again, the analogy of the way the person approaches you, hey yo,
mm-hmm.
He has been allowed to do that to a lot of women, and no woman has told him that's not how you talk to a woman. You know what I'm saying? That's not what you do.
So is that a woman's responsibility, or is that another man's responsibility?
It's an adult's responsibility.
Like
it ain't my responsibility.
Somebody put in here about how we have generation after generation that's being raised by all women.
Yes.
It's mamas and grandmamas and aunties. those are the ones that are raising up the children and, instilling in the values and morals and belief systems. And I always say to my, especially when I'm working with parents, our children learn far more about what they see us do than what they hear us say. What they see us do gets ingrained. What they hear us say goes in one ear and out the other. Right. Sometimes it might go in through there, but it finds its way out and then it oozes. So if it's just women in the household, where are the men? We are booming because we are the ones that's being educated and taking career aspirations
and being entrepreneurs,
right?
And taking leaps and bounds and being badass.
Where are the men? And that was one of the reasons why I was asking you to name the black mayors, the black male mayors, because it's where are the men?
Y'all not
where are these caliber of men? Because my former college schoolmate, my vocabulary is shot.
I'm on live. Where are my people that's supposed to be texting me with these answers?
My former college, his niece was shot and killed because she refused the advances of the Hey Sade.
Shot and killed.
Because he lives in Dallas, so he had to fly home to Chicago to go to her funeral because she was shot by somebody just because she simply did not want to accept his advances. So where is the person that was supposed to teach him how to accept rejection?
How old was the guy?
I don't know, but the young lady was, I think she might have been somewhere between 17 and 20-ish.
So
she was in
that
there.
same age group.
Probably.
But again, I think in that aspect, he was hanging around people that told him it's okay to, handle your anger and frustration with violence. And I think that the people that should have told him not to do that should have been doing that 15 and 20 years ago. When they allowed, so there was a book written by Dr. Conjurfu, Countering the Conspiracy to Destroy Black Boys. And in the book, it says in 3rd grade, when an African-American boy stands up and crosses his arms, he's labeled educationally or behavioral disorder. Now, years ago, I used to substitute teach. I taught at a school, Gage Park High School. We had a kid in there that would show up to class late every day, loud, acting a fool. He was labeled educationally and behavior disorder. If I gave a pop quiz, I could literally grade everybody's test based off of his answers. But we allow people to live down to the expectation that has been placed on top of them. So I think that when he was in this specific situation, when he was in 3rd grade, 4th grade, whenever he was labeled, the parents should have stepped in and said, no, not my baby. My baby is ahead of his time. My baby is this. And then you have to speak that into them. You got to feed that into their soul. But if you constantly, you ain't shit, you ain't going to be nothing, you come from nothing, your daddy ain't nothing. And even if the dad is absent, I just did a circle conversation with some men today. Everybody in the room had over 20 years in prison. Every single consecutive life sentences. And here it is. They all had such a gleam of positive motivation and inspiration and wanting to give back to the community and trying to host a bike ride to be able to, do more positive stuff in the community. They want to engage the youth, save the young men from going down their route. And I'm thinking, man, if I don't even think I could have made it 20, some of them 26, 29 years in prison, but then to come out and have that positive kind of attitude, it's like, man, like one of the guys, so we did an icebreaker and they said, well, what was something that you're most happy about that was in your life? And one of the guys said, he was happy that he paid his phone bill. He just paid his own phone bill for the first time. He was like, I had people that was going to pay it for me, but I paid my own phone bill. So now you have to think, and one of the guys was saying, when they was gang affiliated 20 years, 30 years ago, now they out, the young people aren't listening to them because now they 15, 16, they think I'm a man now,
So I hear you mentioned a lot about, I hate to say disadvantaged youth, but I'm seeing a lot of, say, regular black men, but
because even back in college days, these lips right here, it's been multiple times where I'm just walking, minding my business, and I hear you look like you can suck a mean dick.
Well,
I really, because I hear you. You've talked a lot about, and I can see the ones with no mom in the home, been to jail, was with the gang. I get it. I'm with it. Cool. Not them. The others.
So I think in college.
Talk about them.
Come on, man. Everybody's talking shit in college. Everybody's talking crazy in college. Like, you know, and then you think about it. You go to school, first semester, you got 300,000 people on campus. Second semester, it's 56 people. Some people come just to party first semester. They're never going to make it back to college. So every first semester, should you have to, you know, listen to that? No, you shouldn't.
Right.
But it's college.
And this was something, the last time something like this was said to me was at the, not the Gateway Classic, I'm really showing my age, the Chicago Classic. So this is after my master's degree. So I was well into my 20s, mid-20s, late 20s. And this was a comment that was said to me.
But again, you gotta you can't judge every man based off the lack
so here we
of.
go. So if we, this is the thing. If we,
I just want y'all to know, I'm not getting ate up in here.
Here we
know.
go. If we have 100 women, and all of us women have had different male experiences, that starts making a lot of men. I want you to unlike you. Yeah. You saying it's not, I didn't do that, but if all of us women keep talking about the same thing, at what point do we get, that makes a lot of men.
Oh, there's a lot of men, but
like too many. And it's also now the norm.
Yeah. But that again comes from, you have a culture of absent fathers that were not there to show them. And then those fathers that, you know, were absent, their fathers weren't, you know, really involved in them. Because you think about it, if you look at it, just by the men that I talked to today, they were all in their 40s.
Roderick, you seem like a really nice guy. Like a really, really, really nice person. Like, I like you. You cool.
Y'all not going to eat me up in here.
You cool.
I'm holding my...
At 40, at this age, in the 40s, I don't want to hear about your absentee father and how his father then, and he didn't have a father. Like, at this point, you should have enough men around you that you know when you
or just enough.
But if you got the same
exactly agreed.
But if you got the same type of men,
or you didn't read enough posts to know some things, just come on now.
No, you think about it.
Okay,
I know men that are successful that are still gang affiliated, and you wouldn't even know it. Cool. But then you see certain, and I'm talking about grown 40, 50-year-old men.
For sure.
But I also see some posts where you just like, dog, you too old. You know what I'm saying? So if you are only hanging around a certain caliber of man, then all of them are like, dog, you right. I met a female, fine, and educate, fine. But she said she grown. And she said she grew up without a father. So all she did was date the neighborhood guy that everybody else was dating because that's what she thought was her caliber of man. So she's getting whooped on. She's getting disrespected. He's cheating on her with all these people. And I'm thinking, do you even know what you have?
Right. I definitely hear your point of how your environment, you become a product of your environment.
For sure.
Nature versus nurture.
At what point do you step outside of that and say, where is the self accountability?
And that's my point.
Like
we too old. Like we too like, and that's my point. Like we in this age, there's no way you can talk to me about the excuses of I didn't have a daddy. Like, where are you in this thing? Like, when do you go, man? I'm just kind of I was fucked up.
I got an argument for that. I agree with you. I 100% agree. I think self accountability. You know, I say if you hang around with the same people that say this is this. To me, I don't believe I need to repeatedly stick my hand in fire to know that fire burns. And I think there's so many people that stick their hand in fire and then blame everybody else, and then everybody else jumps on it with them and say, yeah, it's all their fault for turning the fire on. But I should know my hand is burnt. Don't keep doing this.
So what do you think black men need to do what they need to do?
That's a huge open question.
Yep, surely is.
I think first it comes with education. The more educated you are, the more vast your mind is to,
and you don't mean formal
elaborate.
Education.
Oh, I mean formal and just common. Like if you think about it, in college you learn more in the dorm rooms than you do actually. And I'll just say in our undergrad. So you learn more in college, from the experience. You think about sharing, you think about group cooperation, group economics. Hey, you got $5, I got $5. We can do whatever. We fill gas up. So now we've learned stuff. We've been able to rub elbows. This is your goal. This is my goal. How can we make this job work? Now we move on to real life experiences. I have occupation. You have occupation. Let's go and try to, do something. So there was a book written by Dempsey Trey Travis, I Refuse to Learn to Fail. And in the book, he was saying that him, Stokely Carmichael, Harold Washington, and one other person all went to college together, which is Harold Washington now, but I can't think about what the name of it was. And they were all saying that, of course, they all wanted to go on to be successful. That's why we all know who they are. But Harold Washington at the time was against people being put into the projects, because the difference between the projects and condos is, in a condo you have ownership and you're a manager, you're a business owner. In the projects you're renting. So everybody that I'm surrounded by are all in the same kind of mind frame of poorness and, trying to find a job, whereas these people can network you and put you into a good position. And I think that so many people are trying to network with the wrong type of people, or they're surrounding themselves with the wrong type of people, that they're not allowing themselves to be able to move up, and they're just moving horizontally. And I think that that's the education that we need to work on. Like, you got to be able to read crowds, to read people and say, you know what, I'm wrong. This ain't where I need to be. You think about, different processes, in college.
If I'm poor and I see a lot of people around me with stuff that I want that I don't have, if I'm even halfway smart, I'm thinking I should go over there with them.
Or I should do the opposite of the people that's over here. Because if I keep doing what they doing, I'm going to get the same thing they got.
Whatever they got over there, it's looking real good. I would love to get a little bit of it.
That's smart thinking. But you have a large majority of people that say, I want what they got and I'm going to steal it. I'm going to rob them and take it. And that's where we say we got to work with that group of people that continue to think that it's okay.
How do we help? What is needed to the black man, whether it's a younger one or an older one, to help them come back and help us?
One of our viewers said fathers.
Oh,
I agree.
Of course, 100%.
For sure, that would be the younger.
And I would even say mentors.
That would be the younger group. Let's take these grown ass men.
But even grown men need mentors. Somebody just called me the other day and was saying that they have a 33, 36-year-old son, and I'm 42, and he's looking for a mentor. He wants me to mentor, and I'm like, dog, we like the same age, but your life experiences are different than his. And he's looking at it like, wow, how can I do this, this, and this?
So even at the mama called, though, I just want to speak to how that woman called.
She knew me. He didn't know me. So he's been in and out of jail. So now he wants to find someone that's going to change his life. But if he's only surrounded by people that are in and out of jail, that's the norm, right?
Okay, so what about the ones, not the regular ones again? Let's go back to the regular ones.
I think it all boils down to, you can have fathers, you can have mentors, you can have organizations that's giving them fish. They're not teaching them to fish, but the person themselves has to want to change. They have to know that the road I'm going down is wrong, and in order for me to put the brakes on, I have to see that what I'm doing is wrong. How we teach people that what they're doing is wrong, I honestly don't know. I mean, I would like to say, of course, like the young age mentoring them, but just like today, we were trying to talk in the circle with the men. They wanted to talk to the young people, and I said, but you have an entire group of people, 17, 18, 19, 20, 25, that we're leaving out, that need to be redirected in their life. So I agree with the viewer that says men, but I mean, fathers, but I think that, you have a large number of people. I ate some seafood before I came, so I'm like trying to, blow it out. But I think that there's so many people that are like, that want to help. And I mean, even if you think about businesses, Fortune 500s have social or, business communication. I forgot the name of it, but each organization is required to do X amount of hours of give back. Now, they look at it as, some people, oh, this is what I want to do. But now you have to find the organizations that want to receive them working, because you have a lot of organizations that are boots on the ground, fighting a good fight. They, collecting pennies at a time to be able to feed the community, and nobody even knows they're out there. But then you have, a police shooting, and now you have 300,000 people all together. We're going to do this, we're going to do this. But then where are you when this organization is fighting when there's a 3-year-old shot, right? So it's like, you got to get the organizations to be able to come together, to be able to show them through the community, this is what we have to do.
It seemed like, I agree wholeheartedly, but I also just wonder about the good old regular when men talk in the barbershop. Or
there's too many barbershops. You got some barbershops where they just sitting up smoking weed. There's a dude in Atlanta. He's a police officer. He's got cops and clippers. And that's where men just come into the barbershop, no haircuts. They just sitting in the barbershop, chopping it up, talking.
Great, sounds good.
It's only in Atlanta. Now I'm not saying now my barber. When I'm with my barber, we talk about everything, and he's the type of dude. Brandon, if you need a haircut, he's on 107th Vincennes. Just want to let y'all know he's cold. But my barber, I don't know what he does all day because he's cutting hair for hours and hours and hours. But he can go in depth with you on any topic. I mean, oh no, but did you check this and that? And I'm like, man, what are you, like a Encyclopedia Britannica? How do you know everything? But I agree, it has to be some type of location or some type of substance that men know from a young male to an adult male that these are the norm.
Because I feel like boys in barbershops will also still hear some of this same conversation.
Yeah.
And it's also important that it's the type of conversation, because if we're still in the barbershop talking about the hoes, child, then you're still. Word.
But then it goes back to, how do we get the men that are speaking to be able to have the correct conversation with the youth or amongst each other? But then you still want it to be a real conversation. You don't want to be trying to don't say that. We can't say that. Oh, don't, because you want them to be able to be speaking open, but it's a matter of just being able to have that kind of dialogue. And then like I said, or like double dutch, somebody needs to be able to be willing to jump in to have the conversation. And one of the things that has been going on, or like a big communication kind of dialogue type of thing, are peace circles. So you want to have people sitting in a circle where they can talk amongst each other, and they know that this is a safe space. But until you do that multiple times, I'm not going to open up and let whatever, because I just met you. So it's not a safe space just because we're in this circle.
Restorative justice sounds great. We got COVID right now, so it's a little more complicated.
Well, you can do it with 6 feet of separation, just a gym. Yeah, hey, you gotta,
It's a little complicated right now. It's a little, peace circles are a little complicated.
But I mean, even like this, I mean, you all taking on the topic, we're creating awareness with all the followers, right? So now, as a follower, as someone that's listening, it's now their opportunity or their, task to go out and say, I heard a really good discussion today. How do we do this? Hey, honey, how do you do this? Or, let me talk to them at work, and, just see where your mind frame is. I mean, even the example that you gave earlier, you make 300,000, I make 100,000. Well, so what is your reasoning behind it? And then how do we advance that as a discussion? Because, I mean, to be honest, this is a really good discussion, but prior to this, it wasn't even a thought of mine, because that's not the circles that I'm running in. But now that I know that this is something that is like, I mean, I'm going to research it and everything else, because I mean,
kind of like when you go looking for a car, and then now you had never seen that car before,
yes,
and now you see that car everywhere.
Yes.
It's gonna happen. That same thing. It's gonna happen right here. Does anybody who's like listening can tell me if Serena's winning? Please and thank you.
Oh, is she playing right now?
She is.
Wow. Go Serena. I see you.
Go Serena. I
love Serena Williams.
I'm here for you. I love you.
I just want to see what men say they don't like Serena Williams. Like, I haven't seen that.
I can show you. I can show you one.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I can show
Serena.
you. There's a lot. Yeah,
Serena.
Girl,
boom, get up out of here.
So come off my back. Come back and bring it down.
Hey, I'm sorry. I apologize. She's mine.
She's not.
That girl is mine.
You can't talk to me about her something. Anyway, you guys. We appreciate.
What is that? 22, 26 Grand Slams that she wins this?
I'm sorry. The fact that you don't know the answer.
I'm quizzing you. I'm checking to see if you know.
Okay.
She gonna text me in a little bit and let me know what's up.
The lies. That's okay, babe. We all know. The world knows it's me and you, and it's been me and you since '99. Anyway. You know where she won at in '99, her first Grand Slam?
Hey, are we on a different type of topic right
okay.
here? I don't want to go in depth on my woman. I'm protecting her now, trying to keep you away from her. Every day we talk about y'all stalkers. I'm like, hey, baby, I got you. I'm protecting you.
Anyway, we appreciate you being here. Can you let people know how to get hold of you or where to find you at?
So right now I'm working on my motivational speaking, so you can follow me on all social media. Rod McClain Speaks. Rod Speaks is my hashtag. You can look me up on Facebook, Roderick McClain, and just follow me either way.
Awesome. Thank you for coming and taking the heat with us.
Hey, no problem. I
gentle.
thought this was about to be crazy.
I
wanted the crazy stuff.
We did good. It's probably because I'm a little sick. I'm trying to maintain.
COVID. Oh man. What?
No, I really do. I appreciate you being here. I really do hope men do better.
Right.
Yes.
Like, I don't know
So
what else
before
to
we
say.
close out, and I see that it's wrapping up, what are 3 takeaways that we can tell everybody that we would like for them to do to help men to help themselves or help ourselves?
There needs to be a conversation about being able to accept rejection.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Being able to accept rejection.
We are not in competition
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Your money is not your power
at all.
It's not. Depending on the caliber of woman that you have, if she's
It's okay
coming
to
with
ask for help.
her own money, you know, then that means your power is not eliminated. So your money's not your power.
No.
Some money should add to your power, in my opinion, but that's a whole nother story.
Right. Was that the 3?
Yeah, we did.
It sounds like about 5.
We did a few more. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Any you have?
So, I mean, I'm with y'all. Like y'all,
Okay.
I agree. That's what's up.
Okay. Next,
share this if y'all, if y'all
sure.
watching this. Share this. Continue to follow them. I know that they have great topics. This is season 2.
We are in season 2.
So obviously y'all got to do some follow up.
Y'all can catch season 1 on YouTube. I put it on the Facebook page. The Tea with Chris and Kenise. It's the Facebook page, and then the YouTube also. Yeah, we're everywhere. Next week, we are going to talk, since we're talking about men protecting women, we are going to go back to women and talk about submission. The independent woman and the lost art of submission. It's going to be interesting.
That one's going to be fun.
We're going to have a lot of fun there. Y'all know I love submission. But thank you guys for coming. We will see you guys next week. Bye.
Y'all ready to ride?
You okay?
Y'all ready to ride? Y'all ready to ride? Y'all ready to ride?